What if the most powerful thing you can do is simply disappear? No anger, no begging, no need to prove anything, just pure, unspoken absence. Imagine the impact of your silence, the way it will linger in her mind, making her wonder if she made the worst decision of her life. It's a kind of absence that turns confidence into doubt, arrogance into regret. We've all been told that we need to chase, to beg, to show our worth, but true strength lies not in proving your value. It lies in knowing when to walk away without a single word. When you vanish, when you don't chase her, that's when she begins to feel the loss. She will wonder why you're not reaching out, why you've become a ghost in her life. And that's when it hits her. She let go of the one who was truly worth holding on to. Most men fall into the trap of needing closure, thinking that explaining themselves will bring her back. But once you try to convince her, you've already lost. The true power comes from being the man who doesn't need validation, the one who silently walks away and lets the absence speak for itself. She'll wait for you to crack, to reach out, to prove that she still has control over you. But what happens when you don't? When she checks her phone and sees nothing? When she realizes you're completely gone? That's when the regret creeps in, and she'll realize she made the biggest mistake by letting you go. But by then, it's too late. The man she left behind is no longer the same, and you've already moved on. Like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment. My absence is my power. Now, let's begin. Number 1, the breakup. When everything falls apart, she expected you to chase her. She imagined you would crumble, flood her phone with desperate texts, begging for another chance. But you didn't. And that's when the reality starts to sink in. At first, she feels liberated, thinking she made the right choice. She hits the town, posts her best photos, enjoys the attention. She wants you to see it. She wants to provoke a reaction, to make you feel something. In her mind, you're supposed to be hurting, watching her, waiting for her, hoping she'll change her mind. But then, silence. Not a word from you. No frantic attempts to get her back. Just empty space where you used to be. That's when it all starts to shift. That's when she begins to question everything. She expected pain, but what she got was indifference. And indifference is terrifying. It forces her to face questions she wasn't ready to ask. Did he ever truly care? Was I wrong about him all along? Is he moving on without me? And with that doubt comes the fear. She checks her phone, just in case, but nothing. The silence that once gave her power now makes her feel unseen. The control she thought she had, it's gone. And the hardest part for her, she gave it up freely. This is where so many men falter. They see her pulling away and they chase, thinking it will win her back. But chasing only confirms what she already suspects, that you need her more than she needs you. And a man who is desperate for a woman's attention is a man who loses respect in her eyes. That's why you never chase. That's why you never beg. You let her walk away and you stay where you are, strong, unmoving. Because the man who cares less is always the one who holds the power. Like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment. I am not bound by emotions. Number 2, the turning point. The final message. Most men don't fully grasp the power in those last words. They either pour their heart out, trying to fix what's already beyond repair, or they fire off angry texts, hoping to guilt her into feeling something. But both tactics fail. The moment she sees emotion in your words, she knows she still holds the reins. And as long as she holds the power, she doesn't have to miss you. But you're different. You send one last message, not to win her back or convince her of anything, but to make a clear statement. A simple, calm message, no pleading, no bitterness, just finality. Something like, I respect your decision. Take care. That's it. No follow-ups, no questions, just a clean exit that leaves her with no way to respond. And that's when the shift happens. Instead of gently closing the door, you slam it shut. Instead of leaving things open for her to come back to, you give her the weight of an undeniable ending. She reads it over and over, expecting more, but there's nothing else, just those few words. And in that silence, the power dynamic flips. Now you're the one who walked away. Now you're the one who seems to be in control. And when the mind is faced with this kind of uncertainty, it begins to obsess. She starts wondering, was he planning to leave anyway? Did I matter to him as much as he mattered to me? Why does it feel like I lost when I was the one who left? That's the true power of a final message. It plants seeds of doubt. It denies her the closure she expected. It forces her to face the reality of her own decisions. And as time passes, that message only grows in its strength. Because while most men panic and beg, you made it clear, you're not an option. You are a man who accepts what is and moves forward without hesitation. That's the most dangerous kind of man, the one who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't wait around, the one who disappears without a trace. Like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment. Silence is louder than any words. Number 3, the void. It starts with the silence. At first, she feels the freedom. She convinces herself she made the right choice, fills her days with distractions, and enjoys the validation from others. She tells herself you were just a phase. She expects you to reach out at some point because that's what most men do. But the days pass, and then the weeks, and there's nothing, just empty space. At first, she brushes it off. She convinces herself that it doesn't matter, but then something begins to shift. She checks her phone, almost reflexively, expecting a message. But there's nothing. She scrolls through social media, expecting to see you lurking, liking, reacting. But once again, there's silence. It's as though you vanished completely, and that's when the void starts to take hold. See, people often don't appreciate what they can access at any time. But take it away, and suddenly, its absence is deafening. Your silence, your complete absence, creates a space in her life, a space her mind can't ignore, and the mind, left with a void, needs to fill it. So she starts asking herself, why hasn't he reached out? Is he really over me? Was I not as important as I thought? At first, it's just a fleeting thought, but over time, it creeps in more frequently. Late at night, during moments of quiet, every time she checks her phone, hoping to see your name pop up. The silence that once made her feel in control now makes her feel insignificant. And nothing haunts the mind more than the feeling of being so easily forgotten, so easily replaced. Here's where most men slip up. They break the silence too soon. They check in, they cave in, they try to reopen doors that were already closing. But you do nothing. By doing nothing, you make her feel everything. The void only deepens. And the longer it lasts, the more she starts to miss the things she took for granted. Like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment. I set my own worth. Number 4, the glow-up, becoming the man she never thought she'd lose. At first, she convinces herself she doesn't care. She tells herself you'll eventually come crawling back, that you're just playing games, that you'll realize you made a mistake. But then, something unexpected happens. She comes across a picture of you. Maybe it's on a friend's feed, or maybe she searched for you out of curiosity. And what she sees leaves her stunned. You look different, sharper, more confident. There's a fire in your eyes, a strength she never noticed before. You've been working, grinding, leveling up. You didn't just disappear, you reinvented yourself. And suddenly, something she never thought she'd feel after walking away hits her. Regret. Because the man she left behind is no longer the same. The version of you she walked away from still had hope, still thought she might come around. But this new version, he's not even thinking about her. And that's the true power of transformation. See, most men waste months sulking, drowning in sorrow, hoping for a second chance. But the ones who truly thrive, they use that pain as fuel. They take the hurt, the frustration, the anger, and turn it into something greater. They push harder in the gym. They hustle for their money. They sharpen their mindset. They transform, not to win her back, but to become someone beyond what she ever imagined. And nothing stings more than realizing the person you left behind didn't just survive the breakup, they thrived. She expected you to suffer. Instead, you flourished. She thought she was the prize. But now she realizes you were always the prize. And now she no longer has access to you. Because the ultimate power doesn't lie in making her regret. It lies in becoming so valuable that her regret doesn't even matter. Like this video, subscribe and comment. I invest in myself, not in her. Number 5. The echo. It starts small. At first it's a simple like on an old post, a random follow request, maybe even a hey sent at 2 a.m. that she quickly deletes. She's testing the waters, trying to see if she can still make you react. But you already know the game. This isn't about love, and it certainly isn't about a genuine connection. It's a mix of curiosity and regret. And you stay unmoved. She thought she'd get a reaction. She thought that seeing her name pop up on your phone would make you feel something. But you do what most men can't. You ignore it. You see the notification, and you let it sit there. No response, no excitement, no reaction. Just pure silence. And that silence, it begins to gnaw at her. Because now she realizes something she never expected. She no longer has access to you. The same man who used to drop everything for her now treats her like a distant memory. And that's terrifying. Deep down, she always believed she could get you back when she wanted to. But now, she's not so sure. So she tries again. Another message. This time, she pretends like nothing ever happened. Hey, how have you been? But you don't bite. Because you understand something she never did. People don't value what's always available. They value what's rare, what's untouchable, what they can't have. By refusing to engage, by showing her that you've moved on, you've turned yourself into something she can't reach. And that's when it hits her. She lost you, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And the worst part? She did it to herself. This is where most men falter. They see her reach out and think, she's realized what she lost. But the truth is, she's not coming back because she loves you. She's coming back to see if she still has control over you. Once she sees that she doesn't, that's when her regret morphs into obsession. Like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment. Indifference is my greatest weapon. Number 6. The regret. She told herself she didn't care. She convinced herself she was better off. But now she's watching from the shadows, and what she sees makes her stomach twist with discomfort. You're not just getting by, you're thriving. And the worst part? You've moved on. At first, she tries to rationalize it. Maybe he's just pretending. Maybe he's just trying to make me jealous. But the more she watches, the clearer it becomes. This isn't an act. You're genuinely happy. The sadness she thought she'd see in your eyes, it's gone. The weight she hoped you'd still be carrying, nowhere to be found. Instead, there's something new. Confidence, a sense of purpose, an energy she didn't expect. And then the real blow hits. She sees you with someone else. Maybe it's a friend, maybe someone new, but the image stings. For the first time, she feels it, replaced. She always thought you'd be there, a safety net she could fall back on when things went wrong. But now, she realizes she was wrong. You weren't waiting. You weren't longing for her return. You were moving forward, building something for yourself, creating a life she's no longer a part of. That's when the regret truly sinks in. Losing someone is painful enough, but knowing that person is now better off without you, that's unbearable. She begins to replay the memories in her mind, questioning her choices, wondering if she made a huge mistake. She starts imagining the life she could have had, the future that could have been hers, if only she had chosen differently. And then the hard truth hits her. She's the one who lost. But by the time she comes to that realization, it's too late. You've transformed. You're no longer the man she left behind. You're no longer the one who pined for her. You've become someone else, someone she can no longer reach. And nothing cuts deeper than the pain of wanting something you once had, knowing you can never have it again. Like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment. My purpose now is greater than her regret. Number 7, the unreachable man. She thought she could get you back. She believed that with one simple message, a bit of attention, she'd pull you back into her orbit. But now, she sees the truth. You're gone. Not just physically, not just on the surface, but in a way that truly matters. You've disconnected, detached, and moved beyond her reach. At first, she resists. She tries again. Maybe a longer message this time, something personal, something that tugs at the heartstrings. She wants to remind you of what you once shared, of the moments you had together. But your response? Silence. Indifference, maybe a cold, distant acknowledgement at best, and that's when it hits her, the crushing weight of finality. Here's the thing, most men leave the door open, even after they claim they've moved on. They keep her on social media, they linger in the past, they wait for the chance she might come back. But you did something different. You closed that door completely. You removed her access. Not out of bitterness, but out of discipline, because a man who truly moves forward doesn't walk in circles, and that's what sets you apart. You didn't just move on, you evolved beyond the point where she even matters. And that's the ultimate loss for her. Because now, she knows, even if she begged, even if she admitted her mistakes, it wouldn't make a difference. You're no longer the man who would take her back. You're no longer someone she can control or have access to. And nothing stings more than realizing you've lost something you can never get back. She thought she could always come back, that you'd always be there. But now, she knows she's lost that. Privilege, and the weight of that realization, that's what truly breaks her. Like this video, subscribe and drop a comment. I never chase, I own, only replace. Number 8, the Stoic mindset, mastering emotional control. This is where most men slip up. They do everything right, going silent, focusing on themselves, building a new life. But then, when she finally reaches out, they let their emotions take over. Nostalgia, ego, or loneliness pull them right back into her orbit, and just like that, everything they've worked for unravels. But you're different. You understand that real power isn't about getting her back. It's about no longer wanting her at all. Stoicism teaches us that mastering your emotions means mastering your life. The moment you learn to control your feelings, you become untouchable. She can try to reach out. She can send old texts, stir up memories, even try to make you jealous. But none of it moves you. Why? Because you've trained yourself to be unshakable. You've learned to see through the illusion that she was the best you could do, the illusion that your happiness depended on her, the illusion that she was ever in control. Now you see things clearly. You don't react. You don't seek revenge. You don't even acknowledge her presence, not out of spite, but out of wisdom. A man who understands his worth doesn't need to prove it. He just exists at a level so high that those who left him behind can only look up in regret. This is the true essence of the Stoic mindset: emotional control, discipline, and purpose. You don't chase, you don't waver, you don't let the past dictate your future. You become a fortress, untouchable, unshaken, and that is what makes you powerful beyond measure. Like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment. My mind is my fortress. Number 9. The final reflection: the man who never returns. She thought time would change things. She believed that one day you'd look back, remember the good times, and maybe, just maybe, you'd want her again. But that day never comes. Why? Because the man she once knew no longer exists. You didn't just move on, you evolved. You shed the old version of yourself, the one who craved her validation, the one who placed his happiness in her hands. And now, standing at the peak of your transformation, you look back and feel nothing. No anger, no sadness, no longing, just gratitude. Gratitude that she left. Gratitude that she pushed you to grow. Gratitude that you became something greater than she ever deserved. This is the moment when everything clicks, when you finally understand why life had to take her away. If she had stayed, you wouldn't have become the man you are now. And that man, the one who walks with purpose, who is unshaken, who commands respect with his very presence, that man never looks back. She sees it now. She notices it in the way you carry yourself, in the way your energy radiates. And the truth she once refused to accept is now crystal clear: you're never coming back. And that hits her harder than anything else. Because in the end, the greatest revenge isn't proving her wrong. It isn't making her jealous. It isn't even making her regret. The greatest revenge is simply becoming the man she will spend the rest of her life wishing she never lost. Like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment. The past is dead. I live for the future. This is where the journey ends. Not with a dramatic reunion, not with a desperate apology, but with silence, with distance, with a man who no longer looks back. The truth is, the strongest men aren't the ones who win women back. They're the ones who never need to. They rise so high that the past becomes irrelevant. They understand that true power isn't in proving your worth to someone who left. It's in becoming so valuable that their absence means nothing. And that's who you are now, a man who walks alone, not because he has to, but because he chooses to. A man who controls his emotions, who builds his purpose, who stands so firmly in his own value that nothing, not heartbreak, not regret, not even time, can shake him. So let her watch, let her wonder, let her regret. But you keep moving forward, you keep evolving. You keep becoming the man you were always meant to be, because the past is gone, and the man who never returns is the one who truly wins. Like this video, subscribe, and comment. I never look back. Thank you for watching. Keep rising, keep evolving, and never look back. I'll see you in the next one.